So this video is all about how you hold the pencil. I know, such a basic idea, but very important. Some of you already understand what I'm about to teach you, and some who are beginners or no one actually taught you how to hold a pencil when you draw different aspect of a drawing, you don't want to skip this video just because you think you've been holding a pencil your whole life. Especially when it comes to charcoal pencil. The way you hold the pencil can either make things very easy with better results or difficult with worse results. Okay, there are generally two main ways to hold the pencil. The regular way, like if you are writing something, the one that everybody's been doing their whole life. This method is used for details and certain dark tones. You have finer control of what you draw and put the tone down for details where every shade and the lines are small and very short, where the tiniest movement is all that is required. In this scenario, holding the pencil as if you are writing is the best way, easy. The second way is where a lot of people who is self-taught often mess up. And a lot of people say charcoal is difficult than graphite. Well, this second way of holding the pencil plays a big role when you draw with charcoal. And just a note, this does not apply to hyperrealism, where an artist will duplicate a picture or photo kind of like bit by bit. Then you can just stick with the first way of holding the pencil, the writing style. Now, if your drawing contains fluid and expressive lines, or even just shading over a large area, which is really a bunch of lines, basically any lines that is medium to long, your grip is much better to be further back on the pencil. Now you are getting your elbow and shoulder involved with the drawing, not just your wrist. The wrist movement is a lot smaller and your whole arm gets into the action. And this is also great for precise tone value control. Especially the tone value control you can tweak and draw via layers over a larger area. There is actually a physics principle that dictates the further away you are holding the pencil, the better pressure control you would have. You can change the pressure at your end by 20%, but where the pencil touches the paper will only change by a much smaller percentage, like 10%, 5%, depending on where you hold the pencil. So even if you have bad pressure control, the actual effect would be much less, allowing you more room to draw accurate shades or use more force to draw dynamic lines, a little bit less force for guidelines and so on. So these are the two major categories. Of course, you can hold the pencil in the middle and experience how that changes the way lines appear on the paper. But the main idea is the more you hold the pencil at the back, the more control you have regarding pressure and have lines be very fluid and flowing. And this is vital when you want to draw loose and expressive lines. Personally, I use that a lot for hair and guidelines and any large distance lines. If you are doing gesture drawing, you would generally do very light and long fluid lines for guide, and then move a bit closer to the point where pencil meets the paper as you are adding more pressure and details. And just FYI, regarding gesture drawing, it's really details at the joints and some details at the face. You would use a little bit more of your wrist and move a little bit further towards the front of the pencil. So here are some demonstrations. If you want to draw eyes, especially for a beginner, it's much easier for you to just hold in the end of the pencil. And then you can shade, you can add tones and so on. And then you can add little values. See, this is where you want to make very, very short lines, basically like lines like this, right? But smaller. They're not very flowy. Now if I want to do large lines and flowy lines or guidelines and hair or whatever, for me, I have a little bit more experience, so I can actually hold it in like this, but my wrist will not move. You know, I'm moving my entire hand, so it's my elbow and my shoulder that's actually moving. But still, the best practice is just to hold at the end of the pencil. So it's very, very light, very, very light. And then you can draw a line, and it's going to be really, really smooth. It's not going to be a line that's like I'm exaggerating a lot, but if you try to do it like bit by bit, you might have a line that looks like that. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you can tell the line's not fully smooth. But if you hold it at the end, and naturally you wouldn't move your wrist that much, you're just gonna bend a little bit, going with the flow of your arm, which you are moving now via your shoulder and your elbow. It's going to have a much smoother line. Even the line curves in weird ways. right? So that's line work, and you can of course use it to draw, let's say guidelines, and you can make it very very light. I can do it extremely light, or I can do it heavier. Same thing with gradient. It's much. Let me just draw like an actual box. Yeah, can you do a gradient with charcoal with doing like this? Sure, if you just pay attention and slightly lessen the pressure. But an easier way is just simply do it like this, where you can slowly lose control, or where you can just slowly lower the control and go over it. See where I'm holding the pencil and my wrist is not moving? Let me just do another one above here. Here, difficult. You gotta really focus on every line. This, much easier, right? Because I'm holding the back of the pencil, so any mistakes I do will be more forgiven. And now I can say, well, this value is obviously from mid-tone to light tone, but I want to go from dark tone to light tone. So I can just go over it again, but this time apply more pressure and slowly lessen that pressure. And now it's overall darker, and I'm not blending this, so this is a textured drawing. Now if I really want to make like full darkness to the white line, I'll just put maximum pressure that I can at the beginning, and because this space is small, the lines are small, I'm using my wrist a little bit more. Remember that when the lines are big, it's more about the motion of the entire arm. When the lines are small, I'm using my wrist, but I'm still holding at the back of the pencil, and you can just see it's a lot more forgiving. So even if I made the pressure somewhere too large or too small, it's gonna be fine. Oh, by the way, with charcoal, of course, you can then just blend it. It's gonna come out like. So, to summarize, fine details such as the eyes, maybe even the eyelash. The way you make tiny little movements is enough. It's enough. I'm actually fixing the tone value just because I can't help it. Yeah, okay, I gotta stop. Alright, so for tiny details, this is fine. For anything that's a little bit longer, back of the pencil is fine. It's flowy. But you see, it's not that flowy right now because I'm using my wrist more. So that's like next level. If you have a really long distance lines, now I don't even use my wrist that much anymore. I'm just using my entire like arm, and you can do very flowy hair. And no matter how you do the lines, because the way you're moving your arm, you're not gonna get like this kind of effect. The lines is gonna be always gonna be like really loose and very very smooth. You're not gonna get that jagged feeling. So yeah, play around with that. That's a very basic thing, and you can shade in the same way which I demonstrated. If we were to say shade the same ball, well, I'm gonna make this ball kind of small, but if you want to shade a large ball, you definitely want to hold the back of the pencil and move your entire arm a bit more. This is like pretty small. I'm still holding the back of the pencil. And if the circle is large, or should I say if the joint is large, I don't know, I'm just gonna do that. Right? If you need to somehow shade this particular shape, now my wrist is not even gonna move that much. Let me just do it in this direction because we're naturally. See, now my wrist not moving much, but my entire arm is. Right? I'm doing it really fast to give you guys just an idea. You can be just slightly more careful. And this whole area is now shaded at a pretty even value. Especially that I like to use blending method with my charcoal. Some people don't like to blend, which is fine. They just have to be a lot more careful with this. This I can just do that, and now it's a fairly even blend. with a little bit of texture left behind. If I really want to get rid of those, I would blend even further, but I'll give you guys more information on blending in the blending video. So yeah, test how your joints would be like. Depends on where you hold the pencil, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you are new at this that it's just much easier depending on the distance of what you need to draw to adjust where you hold the pencil. If I was using wrist and I'll try to draw a line, like see how jagged it is, how bad it is. It's not smooth. Again, if I was to use my entire arm, even if I was to draw like a small line, it can't help but to be fairly smooth. Like I do hair a lot like this, you know. And you see none of these lines here are like this where it's all jagged. See? Even the circle that I'm drawing around it is really not smooth and not flowy. No, I just want to finish the rest of his eye, but no, I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah, that's it really. Any questions, let me know, and we'll move on to the next video.